We just witnessed one of the worst losses of the Kyle Shanahan era. The Niners had absolutely no business losing that football game. They did not trail until there was 2 seconds left against a Los Angeles Rams team that made the Niners look healthy. The Rams were without Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, multiple starting offensive linemen, and this Niners defense could not get a stop after the first quarter. This is a dreadful loss for the San Francisco 49ers. This is a heartbreaking loss for the San Francisco 49ers. And really the word that comes to mind, it's an unfathomable loss for the San Francisco 49ers. It was nearly impossible for them to lose this game. They were in control of the Rams throughout pretty much the entire duration of this game. Yet, Kyle Shanahan and the Niners lose yet another 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. They choke away another game. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. This is what a Super Bowl hangover looks like. And it's a damn shame because Brock Purdy, without the likes of Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, played a stellar football game. Everybody has been wanting to see Brock Purdy perform without star-level players around him. People have said Brock Purdy isn't an elite quarterback. He's not worth $50, $60 million per year. The Niners would be crazy to pay him. He's not really that good. He's elevated by Kyle Shanahan, the play calling, the play designs, and all of the stars on this team. Brock Purdy, without those 3 all-pro players, 21 of 29, 258 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks. He had a rating of 134. He was nearly perfect in this game. Jauan Jennings, as the starting outside wide receiver, career game for him. 11 touchdowns, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. All for naught. And what are the reasons that the Niners lost this football game? You can point to a lack of offensive execution down the stretch. You can point to the Ronnie Bell drops. He should not be on this football team tomorrow. You can blame Kyle Shanahan. My biggest concern with this football team is the defense. They can't get stops consistently. They give up explosive plays downfield. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay were smelling blood in the water. They can't stop the run when they need to. They can't generate pressure on the quarterback. And I'm looking at a Niners defense that has a lot of highly paid players. Outside of Fred Warner and Deommodore Lenoir, Nick Bosa here and there, Niners defense isn't bringing it. And the defensive coordinator is an issue. Coming into this game, the Niners were giving up 59% of third downs. That was second to last in the NFL. In this game, the Rams were 5 of 12 on third downs. A slight improvement, not good enough. Kyle Shanahan hired Nick Sorensen. He elevated him from within. It's 3 games into the year. Nick Sorensen looks like a stiff. Nick Sorensen looks like he's in over his skis. Because from what I've seen so far, there are communication breakdowns everywhere. He had no answer for why George Odom was matched up one-on-one against Justin Jefferson last week when the Niners gave up a 97-yard touchdown. You have Devondre Campbell getting cooked time and time again. And if you can't get off the field on third downs, you can't pressure the quarterback, you can't stop the run, you have communication breakdowns, and you're giving up vertical passes time and time again, you're the coach of the defense. What's going on? And I'll say this, and this is blaming Kyle Shanahan. And he has egg on his face after this loss. The Super Bowl hangover feels real. The vibes seem off. If you were to ask Bill Belichick what the importance is of special teams, he will always tell you it's a critical element of a football team and in a football game. Kyle Shanahan continues to not take special teams seriously. He doesn't put enough of an emphasis on that third phase of the game. And special teams have burnt the Niners over and over again, regular season, playoffs, in the Super Bowl under Kyle Shanahan's watch. Brian Schneider was supposed to be a good special teams hire. He has been terrible. The reason why the Rams were able to get into good range to kick the game-winning field goal, they had a massive return off the punt from Mitch Wishnowsky. This is not a sound football team right now. And while the offense played really well, the defense has stunk the last 2 games. The special teams have been terrible the last 2 games. A punt block last week, special teams breakdown this week, and it has to get fixed. And if you are Jed York and you're looking at this football club right now, it's 1-2. It's not the end of the world. But these are 2 bad losses in a row where last week you got exposed. This week you pissed down your leg and choked it away. Seattle Seahawks are 3-0. They have a 2-game lead over the Niners in the division. And you are paying all of this money to all of these players. And the product to start the year has been bad. I know the Niners were very impressive in week 1. To me, they look to be the most well-rounded and deepest team in football. But what has happened since then? And that was a little bit of a fluky game because this Niners offense could not get stopped running the football. So they had time of possession, 38 minutes on their side. The Jets couldn't find a group. They couldn't do anything. So this defense didn't have to be on the field all that long. Situationally, the Niners weren't tested because that game was a blowout. Back-to-back weeks, the Niners have gone up against some of the top coaches in the NFL, Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay. And in back-to-back weeks, on both sides of the ball, and with a third phase, special teams, the Niners have been outcoached. And you can blame Kyle Shanahan for trotting Jake Moody out there for a 58-yard field goal, and he missed it. Everybody knew he was going to miss in that spot, which paved open a lane for the Rams to come back in this game. You got to trust your players. And at some point, the players also have to get it done. Jake Moody, you hit that field goal, game over. Niners are 2-1 in a game that they had to win. A get-right game for San Francisco, and he missed it. So when things go poorly, when there is a Super Bowl hangover, there is a snowball effect. And things seem to unravel all at once. And that's what's happening with the San Francisco 49ers right now. More to get to during our instant reaction post-game show. Game Time is our sponsor here today. Yesterday, I went to Norman for Oklahoma, Tennessee to watch some SEC football in the SEC opener. The pageantry, the passion, and the energy of college football is unmatched, and I was able to experience that thanks to the Game Time app. About 20, 30 minutes before kickoff, I pulled up the app, and I was able to get in the door with some incredible seats for an incredible Saturday at the lowest price guaranteed with the best seats. And that is Game Time's guarantee. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And they guarantee you that you will find the lowest prices on the Game Time app compared to the competition. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. So if you download the app and you create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, you get $20 off your purchase. Terms apply. That's for your first purchase only. What time is it? Game time. And it's not just an app for sporting events. If you want to go to concerts, comedy shows, theater shows, and more, Game Time has everything that you need. Well, I ranted for the first half of the show, and now, as my blood continues to boil, I go back to the point of how the Niners had no business of losing this football game. 25 first downs to 19. 391 total yards to 296. 24 first downs to the Rams 19. The Niners 6 of 11 on third downs, 5 of 12 for the Rams. Penalties, an issue. 7 penalties for 111 yards for San Francisco, 8 for 75 for the Rams. Time of possession, 33 minutes to 26. But until the Rams really started to find their groove, the Niners were dominating time of possession. It's just unfathomable how you can lose a game like this when the win probability was so skewed toward your side and you somehow still lose it. Jauan Jennings, he's along the lines of Fred Warner, one of the few players on this team who's actually bringing it. 11 grabs, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, a good start to the game. What is going on, man? When you sign a new contract and you cause a ruckus and you cause drama and you stir up controversy all off season, when you sign that deal, you better produce. You better be in shape. You better bring it. You better live up to that contract. Brandon Ayuk's not doing any of that right now. 5 catches, 43 yards, and after the first quarter, really nothing. Now I know Jauan Jennings had a big day, but who looked like the $30 million per year wide receiver in this game? Looked like Jauan Jennings. It didn't look like Brandon Ayuk, and so far this year, it has not looked like Brandon Ayuk. He continues to be a disappointment this year. And going back to this defense, there are players on that side of the ball. Nick Bosa, Malik Collins, Javon Hargrave had a sack, Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos. They're a little bit light as far as edge talent goes. But the starting defensive line is good enough. The linebacking core, pretty good. But Devondre Campbell, I've seen enough. I've just seen enough. He's slow. He's cooked. He's a washed product. The secondary has good talent. They're not a well-coached unit. Mooney Ward hasn't played like an all-pro. It was good to see Talanoa Hufanga get back, made a couple of tackles. He was on a snap count. Jair Brown had a couple of good dislodges of the football and a couple of good pass breakups from time to time. I love Diamador Lenore. He's a baller. Isaac Yiadom has been a disappointment so far. Devondre Campbell has given this team nothing. But to me, when the defense is giving up explosive play after explosive play, and guys are wide open, and the opposing offense continues to take the top off of the defense and gash you with some vertical routes, to me, this is a coaching problem on the defensive side of the football. So this offense isn't playing up to its potential. The defense has sucked, and the special teams just continues to be a letdown for the San Francisco 49ers. I guess the good news is the Niners come out of this game somewhat healthy, but they come out of this game mentally limping. Ronnie Bell, I don't need to see him on the team, on the field any longer. He had a good preseason as a rookie, a bad preseason this year. He made the initial 53. The drop that he had downfield off a dot from Brock Purdy would have won the Niners the game because it would have been a chip shot for Jake Moody, who had his first miss in the biggest spot. It's a bad team loss for the Niners. Just an absolute joke, man. Losing this game is an absolute joke. The Niners dropped 7 passes today. How can that happen when you know that you don't have Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, or George Kittle? Who's to blame for this Niners loss? Let us know in the comment section. Seahawks 3-0. Cardinals, Rams, Niners 1-2. 2 games back as Mike McDonald has Seattle out to a perfect start. I hope this isn't the beginning of a long year and a disappointing year, but the Niners have to get it in line, and they have to get it going, and they have to correct some of these issues, and they got to get their head out of their asses. Last year was last year. Flush the Super Bowl. Right now, the Super Bowl hangover is real.